like finding home, like finding ourselves in the haze a squall has left, creating something fragile yet immutable in both of us. In her eyes, in the way that she holds my gaze, unwavering in the way she holds herself, despite sitting amidst the place she fears. In the way she keeps herself from trembling and falling apart, because fear is inconsequential when people she cares about are at risk. A change. She realizes that now. Holds on to it. Another little thing, another small thing from her that may go unnoticed and pass by quietly, but will eventually amount to a lot of things. Tiny gestures that mean nothing at first, but begin to matter to me one day until... Oh. Despite myself, a small smile slips from my lips and the same warmth from earlier unfurls in my chest. Unhurried, familiar, and bright from all the years I've carried, but I've never given the words for it.
Stop smiling like that, Ashton! I'm not done scolding you!
It's because he loves you. But this time they come easy.
I heard all of it. Don't worry.
Are you really okay? That guy hit you a little too hard on the head. Here, let me...
I reach up just as she extends a hand towards my face, catching her wrist in a light grip. Oh, come on. Drawing it close and folding her hand in between mine. Although her exasperation doesn't shift into her exasperation does shift into mild confusion, she does not pull away like I'm expecting. She simply stares at me, searching. For her to allow a gesture from me that's perhaps too close tells a lot of how far things have already shifted in the past few years. Cradled in mine, her hand still trembles. So, this game has literally... I'm gonna have to take a little break. This game has literally gone... Love story, love story, love story, love story, love story. Terrifying fucking shit. Someone, like, staring into shards of glass and hearing your greatest insecurities being laid bare in front of you. You're almost choking, taser, and fucking rolling pin, and then... Love story. He's literally just gone... Yep. Even as I trace the lines of a palm in what I hope is a comforting gesture.
I'm sorry. No.
For what? Is this about what happened tonight? You can apologize later, when...
No, well, this too, but it's not just about this. It's for a lot of things. For calling you clumsy, and careless, and a scatterbrain.
Are you sure this isn't a concussion?
You would think that, wouldn't you?
Well, you don't usually apologize.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry about that too. For all the times I've teased you and made you cry.
Unexpectedly, her fingers tighten around mine, our hands falling between us as if something tender shifts in the air. Another exhale. Another drawn breath eases out of me, filled with every hesitation and uncertainties, but when I finally choose to break the silence, it's only when I know what will slip past my mouth is the one truth I will hold against the world.
But for all those callous words, despite all those, there's nothing I don't love about you.
There it is.
In fact, those things, I love those.
There it is.
And everything that's you.
For a long moment, she offers no response. Her grip on my hand merely tightens, although my heart's pounding hard against my... Can I just remind? There's a guy unconscious, handcuffed to the bed, behind you in a house that you have just broken entered and fucking beat the shit out of their butler. Although my heart is pounding against my ears, I take a chance and look up. Slightly leaning away and giving her a cautious glance, more than ready to hear her rejection. Said, I find her on the brink of tears with almost an unreadable expression on her face. When she notices my eyes on her, she hastily reaches up and wipes it back with the back of her hand. It does not keep them from falling, and soon they trail down her cheeks despite her best attempts. Can you please get out of this house? Please? To say this is panic shooting right up to the base of my throat is a complete understatement. This isn't how I expected this would go. Yes, you are criminals inside a house that you're breaking and entering. You just rescued someone from a fucking dungeon. You know that there's ghouls after you. There's some weird curse with a fucking letter, and you just knocked some cunt out behind you.
Hey, Belle, did I say something wrong?
Why would you? I don't even have anything.
What?
I don't have anything. I'm not rich. I live off instant noodles almost every day.
Again, can we have this conversation outside of the house?
I can't do anything properly without someone helping me. Except maybe if it's drawing, but that's beside the point.
Can we continue this outside the
I
house?
didn't even get to graduate, even if I was so close. I'm not even sure that scholarship will get me anywhere. And
Can we just fucking leave?
ever since I came here, in the 5 years you've known me, I've got us into all kinds of trouble. So why would you even say that? I'm not...
Can we leave, please? The desperation, the fear of almost dying. That I've already said more than I'm willing to usually allow myself, and I might as well finish before I lose my nerve. No matter what, no matter the reason, I reach out for her. Gently, so unlike the way she barged into our lives all the years ago. The way she came in would leave a terrible impression on anyone, really, and yet, it's people like her that you don't easily forget. It's them that gradually worm their way into a person's life until the very thought of losing them becomes unbearable. Isabella trails off once my palm brushes against her tear-stained cheeks, but she neither pulls away nor pushes my hand off. Can we please leave the house? We know they murder people. Can we please leave the house? Rather, she looks at me with wide-eyed, with another searching look. I only have one answer for that.
It doesn't matter. All of that is still you, and that's enough for me.
No promises, only truths. Perhaps the only genuine thing I can offer her at the moment. Can you please get out of this house? I don't even know what will happen, or will even survive this. Yes, because you're standing around with a fucking unconscious body inside a murderous house. Instead of words, I lean in, our foreheads briefly touching, before brushing my lips tenderly against hers. You know what they missed in this moment? A little Johannes head. Right there. Just with one eye open, was like, my plan worked. The brief second our lips touch, when she tenses, unsure, long moment of not knowing what to do with her hands until she settles them on mine. You're in a house with murderers. This is how people die in horror movies, guys. Flipping up my arm with a light grip, too afraid to make a mistake or hurt. But for now, it's enough. The closest we can come to it. Rather than give out empty promises or grand proclamations, we have this. Instead of words. Fuck's sake. Something she soon understands as her shoulder eases and permits me to draw her closer, deepening the kiss. Softly and gently, a short second of simply allowing the world to melt away around us, and this to roar above anything else. Like every little thing between us that has built up to this one single point in time. A moment that becomes hours and hours alone, and maybe Johannes, who's potentially waking up at this moment. Something to hold close until all of this is over. We part later to the sounds of the world rushing back to us, thunder and rain and lightning, all to remind us of the reality that we have to face, and Johannes going, ew. enough to dampen the mood and force back the worry I've temporarily forgotten. Yet when I glance back at Isabella, all she has for me is a small smile, bright and hopeful. And it is strength enough. One that I try and draw from when I rest my forehead against hers one last time before leading us both out, hand in hand. Those creaks sound fucking weird. Oh, it still hasn't come back when we make our way downstairs. Tricky considering the stairs to the attic are a bit cold. A bit old even. One misstep and anyone might end up slipping and falling. You're lucky if that's all that'll happen to you. As soon as we open the thing, oh my god, it's Mr. Luke Wright. It's okay. We broke and entered into your house. We've knocked out your butler, but we just found out we're in love, so yes! Thankfully, Isabella's here to guide me through the darkness. She knows this place better than anyone, after all, in spite of her misfortunes it has brought to us.
Careful, the floorboards over there aren't very sturdy.
Right on cue, the same board I stepped on creaks and suddenly breaks, the pieces falling somewhere with a dull thunk.
Oh shit. Scumbag wouldn't be too happy about that. Ow, my foot.
See? I told you so. You never listen to me.
Oh, and the relationship has already started. You never listen to me.
They renovated the whole mansion and they can't even replace one tiny part of the house.
Why don't you file a complaint to BRC then? I'm sure they'd be thrilled to hear it. You know it was such a rush job.
Outside, the winds have intensified. Even from here, I can hear the gusts battering the window in the attic. Makes you wonder why, up until now, the only person we've encountered in this house is the butler. I know, right? Although to some degree that makes sense, he is in charge of running the place. Where are the other servants though? In this storm, wouldn't anyone want to stay inside? A likely assumption is they're all asleep. Yeah, they're probably not asleep now. The route I've taken doesn't exactly pass by the rooms they've likely assigned to the servants as quarters. However, they also have heightened security. I've brushed it off earlier, thinking they'll be posted a lot closer to where the master's rooms are, but the second floor is devoid of anyone as well. As if every inhabitant of this place has suddenly disappeared overnight, as Johannes just killed them all. More importantly, where's that scumbag? I don't like this. I don't like this at all. The fact that we're here, right in the fucking middle of it, makes me even more queasy. And the feeling only escalates once we reach the landing and Isabella swings the door open. Hi, Luke. Oh, maybe not. She pauses abruptly in the doorway that I almost run into a look of confusion. With each turn and shift of her eyes, the shoulders only grow tenser. The look of apprehension slowly draws
Isabella,
on her.
what are you...
We aren't supposed to be here.
You think? You think? Sure enough, when I look up, we're standing right in the kitchen, pots and pans and all. Really? All of you are here? All of you? From one corner, Zach and Rebecca watch almost as surprised to see us. Gola is also with them. Of course, she didn't listen to me even if I already exceeded the 15 minutes we agreed upon. Although colour and strength seems to have finally returned to her, enough for her to be able to stand unassisted. The empty plate on the counter appears to have played part in that. Good news, I guess, as the other two. However, relieved as I am, they've all had the sense to wait and not venture deeper into the mansion. I can't help but roll my eyes at both of them.
Zach, I said 4 hours.
I know, but Isabella asked and... Come on, bro, you know I ain't a very good liar.
And it didn't even occur to you to stop her?
We all tried, all right? She was out the door before we could say anything.
And how did you guys even get in here?
All three of them exchange a look. One that I absolutely don't like. In the end, it's Isabella who speaks up, albeit with a bit of hesitation.
We heard someone scream, Ash. It led us here.
Without warning, the door behind us slams
We
shut.
need to get out of here.
Screw right. I need to get these people out of here. Lucky we're in the kitchen where we have two ways out. The back door and the cellar offers. Except the hatch won't budge when I pull on it, and neither does the back door, as if something has locked it firmly on the other side. Zack also gives it a few tries, but even with the big guy's strength, it won't open. Here comes Ghoul Bitch. There's a long bout of silence in which we all simply look at each other, likely sharing the same thoughts. We're trapped. Something or someone has intentionally led us here. Fuck. In that same moment, once realization dawns in, something shifts again. Blood. In every nook and cranny, over every surface, it kind of looks pristine, to be honest. Over every surface and every inch of the floor. This time, unlike the first one I've seen, it remains, and gradually the whole room begins to reek of that familiar metallic scent, sharp and suffocating. Around us Ow, my ears. Around us, every object, including the cupboards, have started to rattle as well. The sound from outside, foreboding rumble of thunder, and even the howling winds have begun to fade away, replaced by whispers, shouts, and cries of pain. Though inaudible, each beat and note bombards every crevice in my head with vague images and sounds. There's no time to make sense of everything, however. Wait. Imagine, right? I'm just going to throw this out here. It's probably very implausible, but we know that this ghoul can emulate all of their voices, all of their personalities, and all of their bodies. What if this is a big switcheroo? She's like, oh, you finally confessed your love to Isabella. Well, surprise, bitch, I'm a ghoul. I'm already shouting, fueled purely by adrenaline, barking orders at and making a break for the door that leads to the next room, the dining. It should take us straight to the foyer where the main door is.
Run!
Right in front of us, the mansion has started to change, and we're in the thick of it. However, inside the dining room, like it's supposed to open to, the bedroom welcomes us instead. An image that lasts only but a second before blood begins to seep into the room. Filtering into the walls, trickling from every nook and cranny, everywhere furniture shakes and every beam rattles. Before we can even step back from the horror gradually unfolding in front of us, the door slams shut. The thud brings sense of dread and chill creeping up on each of us. Along with it is another realization: the whole place is reordering itself. You think? And with the doors closed tight behind us, showing no signs of budging, even through sheer force, there's no choice but to go forward and hope to all gods it leads us to an exit. Yes, because a ghoul who can change the interior of the entire house is just going to go, well, you went through all 15 rooms, so there's the door. Thanks for playing in Takeshi's Castle. And then running is the only thing we can do, spurred by nothing but fear and a sense of desperation to live.
It's useless, Ashton Frey.
But with each room we pass, it only becomes apparent that the house has no intention of letting us leave. You think? It lured us, all of us here, and we've fallen for it. Now it's playing a little game with us, a sorry form of amusement. For whom? The laughters are the only things we can hear. With every hall we cross and door we slide open, the hope of finding an exit merely dwindles. The gun at my hip is useless here. Why wouldn't you just run out of that window? Shoot the window and just get out. You know, you have a gun to break, which can shoot through glass. Unless for some reason the fucking murder house has now got bulletproof glass. Some fucking genius I am, some fucking person I am to trust. All of those, they mean nothing in the face of the unknown.
You finally figured it out. Huh, Ashton Frey. Just give it up. All of them will eventually die because of you.
And you are going to die alone.
Shut your fucking mouth.
You know it's true, though.
All of it.
It's why all you can do is tell us to shut up. You don't want to hear a single word, because you're already aware of it.
You can't even admit it to yourself. Who's the coward now?
But no matter how hard you try, You're not gonna be able to save anyone.
The more gruesome the place turns, the bleaker our chances simply get. Wails and screams fill our ears as we pass by, words from a time and people long gone, laced with nothing but pure agony calling out, reaching out to us. Their voices almost too real, as if we're not the only ones trapped here, that there are others begging for release from this wretched place. Or maybe it's just all a show? A taste of what we will eventually be, souls forever held captive and in a never-ending nightmare.
Mother. I've done it, Mother. Take me with you, please. I can still hear her. She's here. Help me! Help me, please!
Is this what the curse is? What it means for all of us? Yep. But the letter, not a morbid cry for help, but an invitation. A beckoning for unsuspected souls to be dragged into this place of horrors, to be put under centuries and centuries of torment and agony. Suddenly, dying a painful death seems preferable, enticing than ending up here, living a tortured existence. Or perhaps it's all the same. Still, hope worms its way into me, not a usual thing for someone like me. But after going through countless doors and corridors, every little sign of hope I'm willing to cling to, as long as it'll get us out of this place. We're back in the dining room again. How long have we been running? How long since we've left the kitchen? Shoot the fucking glass. At some point I've lost track of time, with the windows barred tight and the sounds lifting in the air, nothing but shouts and shrieks. It's impossible to tell. Yeah, it's literally gone love story, horror, love story, horror. I'll give this game one thing. It's kept me completely on my toes so far. Not that it matters when an end is in sight. Shelves and furnishings bar the door, each stained with blood and gore. That rhymed. And if the situation isn't as desperate as it is, I'll find a different way out. But there's still a gap left at the topmost part for a person to go through, as long as you use the shelves
It's
to
next
climb.
it all right.
They're not shelves. From here I can spy the familiar walls of the foyer. Relief. Only relief washes over me. Although my legs have been strained taut by all that running, every bone and muscle in my body aches. There's only an easing. A sensation of tension. A sense of tension relieving, while energy backflows through me again. That's grammatically bad. No sooner I'm leading us out of it. Zach helps McCullough first, assisting her up through the gap before giving a hand to both Rebecca and Isabella. The moment the ladies are in, I nod for him to go through.
Go ahead. I'll watch your back.
Surprisingly, he does that without any protests. It's like, nah, fuck this, guys. I'm out. I'm done. Fuck you, Ashton Frey. I'm done. Sometime after entering this room, the whole place is calmed down. No wails, no whispers, just a silence too deafening. But I'm not letting my guard down until everyone's on the other side of this nightmare, safe. For all I know, this may just be the calm before another storm. Without further incident, however, Zach makes it to the other side and I'm following him after. However odd this hush is, I turn my back from it and climb up. It's a tight fit, but I manage to squeeze myself in. The unease remains though. Maybe it's the adrenaline still coursing through me, or how easy everything has been living through the nightmare, fleeting as it is. For some reason, something's still nagging at me. Yeah. Call it a detective's instinct or training or whatnot, I have a feeling something's going to happen and catch us unprepared. Unconsciously, before dropping down on the other side of this dream, my hand shifts to the gun at my hip. Instinct has never failed me before. Oh, is Johannes going to be back? My feet haven't even landed firmly on the floor when...
Had I known there would be a party in my own home tonight, I would have opened a bloody bottle or two.
Hello, Luke.
People these days, in my own home. Can you believe it? I feel so left out.
A chill seeps through every vein in my body. All of a sudden, every ache, every pain returns to me tenfold, and my knees threaten to buckle at the sound of his voice. Though it appears friendly, I know it's anything but. One does not spend investigating a man like him for over a year and holding a grudge against him for more without knowing everything about him. His quirks, his habits, I'm familiar with all of them. And right now, Luke fucking Wright is beyond pissed. Shifting my gaze upwards is nearly too painful knowing the danger. Not to me, but to those who have been lured in here by the curse. You motherfucker! The handgun catches my eye first next to the smarmy smile on the face as while he holds McCullough, Zach, Rebecca, and Isabella at gunpoint. In sight enough to lodge a painful thorn up in my throat. I've been too complacent. Too focused on other things that I've completely set aside the fact that Scumbag will not be too pleased to see us here without knowing our reasons. But even with those good intentions, curses, and ghostly apparitions aside, we're still trespassing in his home. The question is if he's even aware that the whole of this household has somehow disappeared, and he might be the only one here. Likely not. Fuck. Even with people he knows among the crowd, there is a significant effort in him to not simply shoot everyone in sight.
And really, Daisy, even you, what would Kylie say?
Luke, this isn't what you're thinking. You have to listen to us. There's something going on here.
Well, obviously, why else would people be trespassing in my home? What about little Lily over there, then? What's your excuse? Checking back if your clients are doing okay? Is that it? Is this what this is?
We're doing good, by the way.
Sir, please.
Oh, please, what?
Becca's right, sir. We need to get out of this place. You need to leave.
Not a good enough excuse, darling. You people are the ones who need to get out of my sight.
Well then, just let us go.
Don't worry. I might consider pressing lighter charges for the woman. Can't say the same for the rest of you.
Oh, you're a dickhead, Luke Wright.
But really now, I swear the people of this city need to be taught the meaning of privacy. This is how you want to start the week. Why don't we just go with a bloody massacre if we want to surprise people in their homes, huh?
Casually, he waves the handgun at them as if it's just a mere toy and his words are no threat. The safety's off on his, nothing stopping him from pushing through with his words. Call me paranoid, but at the slight gesture I draw my own and level it at him, finger on the trigger and ready to release the safety catch in case the things go south. No worries, man. I'm really, really enjoying this game. He's quick to train his own on me, though. And just like that, we're at a standstill.
Now, Feathers. Manners.
Well, you have a gun.
You're in no position to be pointing that gun at people.
Why don't you put yours down first, and then we'll talk about manners.
Oh, he talks back. The gall. You know, your kind pisses me off so much.
Your kind? I'm assuming he's been racist before in the game. I'm assuming he means police, not the fact that he's of an Asian descent. Because if he's implying that, just shoot him. Just shoot him in his head. Please. Shooting him right now would be so worth it with the way he stares at me like a damn pest, but this isn't what I've come here for. I'm not a murderer as much as I loathe him. I'm not the kind who'll kill people in cold blood for my own gain or amusement. The law will bring him what he deserves one of these days. At the moment, however, we're all in the same boat with this curse, and he needs to understand that. The longer we stand here, the more time we're wasting and losing. Something we don't have much of. But how can I convince him? The scum is so full of himself, prefers to hear the sound of his own voice more than those of the people around him, no matter how much sense they make. Probably only way I can make him listen is if I beg. No way in hell that's happening. Well, Ashton, you're... I was just about to say, Ashton, maybe you should beg. And then it gives me the choice, and immediately I'm like, do I beg? Shit. Blip. Get ready for Save Scum. Fuck. know what? Fuck you, Luke, right? Disarm him.
Sorry about this. I really don't.
Congratulations, you are the winner.
Cheers for the follow, man. Glad you're enjoying your time here. Very much appreciated. Sorry about this. I really don't have time for you, okay? I don't think twice. Within the span of a heartbeat, I'm moving to pull the trigger. I didn't mean that kind of disarm, Ashton. Well, I'm rolling with it. Wright recoils with a sharp cry of pain. His pistol falls useless to the floor with a loud clank, followed by drops of blood from his bleeding wrist.
You insolent!
He's down in 2 successive steps when I tackle him to the floor, pinning him hard with my arm. Really? Really, of all times for the ghoul bitch to appear, it's right now. Although, before I could knock him out with a solid right hook, an agonizing wail burst through the tense air. Loud enough to echo along the... Oh shit, no! It makes sense that she'd be here because she's Sin protecting him. Loud enough to echo along the dark, empty halls of the mansion. Piercing enough for every occupant in the foyer to cover their ears and close their eyes. Then all at once there are images. Hello, ghoul. It won't be the little girl. Kylie's not here. Oh. However, there's no time to make sense of it all. Amidst the discord and the noise, something whizzes past by, too close, too swift. A brief, clean blur that barely registers in my eyes, like an arrow quickly finding its mark, heading straight for...
Isabella!
Time slows to a stop. In a moment of clarity, my body moves on its own, heart pounding against my ears, blood rushing through every vein. Spurred only by adrenaline and a desperate bid to reach her crouched, unsuspected form, and I don't even get to yell for her a second time. I don't even get to call her name.
Ashton!
What? Oh, don't tell me it's fucking Johannes. An acute pain bursts through my chest. In the next instant, all of a sudden, everything around me feels too sharp. Every edge, every point. Even the act of drawing a breath alone stings and burns my lungs, while an intense ache slowly spreads throughout my whole body. Numb. I feel numb. A hand comes away bleeding, shaking, while I can only let out a wet, ragged laugh. Soon, without warning, I'm going down to my knees and the whole world is pitching sideways. An arm, warm and welcoming, is on me the second I stumble back to catch my fall. Bear with me 1 second. Save. Something's gonna eat at my mind right now. If you are going to save, Scum, now would be the time. There's Zach, there's Rebecca, there's Isabella, McCullough's here as well. We're all unknowing victims of the fucking curse. I'm in no position to pick who to save. I suppose my pride can take a few hits, and I can set aside my beef with this arsehole. Taking a deep breath, slowly I lower my pistol. I'm now in two minds, knowing it's such a distinct difference. Do I go for the path what I'm on now, or do I just grim and bear it and go through the path what I chose? You know what I'm going to do? I want to see the best ending this can offer. So I'm going to continue where I am now. What I'll do, possibly at the end of Ashton's story, and when we go back into Luke's story, because Luke is next, I'm going to load up Ashton's save, play through that entire thing till it cuts to Luke's thing, and then do Luke's story. Going from this save file here. So the current state we're in now will be the state that is the end game. I'm going to see to the end of the game in this state, but I want to see how that Ashton part plays out. But I do want to try and get what could be considered possibly one of... I don't know the endings, as clearly the title dictates I'm in this blind. But I'd imagine, as the way that most games like this go, this is the better option. There's more drama in the other one, but this could be the better option. I don't want to know, so don't post anything in chat. But I'm going to watch that. No, still on the edge and ready. In case he does something, I do my best to assume the less aggressive stance.
Listen, right. I need you to...
You broke into my house, and somehow, you expect me to listen like a good little boy. Are you a bit touched in the head, Feathers? I'm not the one breaking laws here.
Look here, fucker. If I wanted you dead, I could have done it so many times already. In fact, I can easily shoot you down right here, right now. And you won't be able to do a damn thing, even with that gun.
Suddenly he laughs, almost howling in fact, like I've just told him the best joke he's heard all his life. The only thing missing for him is to keel over and start rolling on the floor, all while I do my best not to sock him in his sorry end of my pistol.
You have guts, Feathers. You have guts. Did you hear what you just told me? You've just threatened me inside my own house. My own home.
Oh, what a shame.
You know what I'm thinking right now? In another lifetime, we would have probably gotten along well.
He's right on that, at least. I might have ended up liking him if I didn't have Professor Andrew, Rebecca, Zach, and Isabella. One mistake and it would have been too late for me. With his laughter rings all of the possibilities I could have lived, but have never been given the choice. All because I have people with me, people who care. A sobering realization. Not so much when suddenly his chuckling stops. In 2 heartbeats, he marches towards me, grabs my collar, and aims the gun right at my head.
Ashton! Luke, no!
Hey, now you two, I'm sure we can all talk about this first.
This distance, a slight flick of that finger on the trigger will be able to do more than kill me.
What is it that you people really want with me? This is the second time this week, and I'm really getting weary of this little game. Did the NCA send you to apprehend me, or has somebody paid you off to kill me?
The NCA?
Which one is it, Feathers? Mind you, my arm's getting tired. Better answer quick if you don't want to beat the business end of this gun.
I keep my eyes trained on him in spite of the huge threat he poses now, because if there's anything people like him, like us, prefer, it's honesty. You don't give that impression without keeping solid eye contact.
I'm not with NCA. I'm just here to help. There's something else in this house, and we're all in danger. You have to believe me, right? You need to let us go. You need to get out of here before it's too late. If you want to keep your sorry ass alive, you'll listen to people with more brain cells than you.
Oh, Ashton, you have to throw in a little dig, don't you?
You insolent!
His finger moves, but I'm prepared, my hand ready to reach up and disarm him and knock it out. If I have to drag him out of this place unconscious to keep him from suffering the fates of every other person who's died from this curse, so be it. However, before either of us can fire a shot or tackle each other to the ground, another voice echoes throughout the foyer. A small little thing compared to... Is this going to be Hannah? It rings above it, nevertheless, causing us all to stop and turn. At the top of the staircase, Hannah Wright stands. To make matters worse, there's that things behind her, menacing, a rotting hand wrapped firmly around her neck. She looks like death. Pale and shaky, eyes red with tears. We nearly don't hear her as she pleads.
Help me. Please.
Outside, another streak of lightning flashes and a clap of thunder ripples across the sky, as if this whole thing can't get any more foobar than it already is. Let's go through all these. There's all this. Save. Load. Ashton. Isabella has always been warm after all.
Ash?
Her hands are shaking, her lips are quivering, while she looks at me with wide, fearful eyes. I want to see who did this. Tears have started to form in at their corners, threatening to spill at any moment, and a pang of regret hits me at the sight of
Ashton?
it. Even for the last time, I can't even give her a reason to smile.
Hey, you're crying again. Don't give me that look. Told you. Doesn't suit you.
Cautiously, despite the stabbing aches shooting up at every movement, I reach a trembling hand to wipe them away. Crying has never looked good on her after all. My arm never makes it far. However, midway, she meets my hand, catching in a light grip, as if she's too afraid I might break. No, I already am. Just slowly. The pain easing. Everything's going cold.
Shut up, Ash! Don't move, alright? Stop talking! We'll get you a doctor! Someone! Just stay put! Just stay put, okay? You'll be fine. You'll be fine.
I'd like to agree with her on that. Reassure her. I've gone through a lot. Survived a lot of shit. Doesn't take a genius to figure out that I'm done for. Whatever hit me, a hole to the chest is fatal enough. I don't think I'm gonna bounce back from this. I'm dying.
I'm sorry.
Should be afraid in this moment. Yep. I'm not. No fear. No dread. Just an acceptance. A deep regret as she appears before us, her voice echoing throughout the foyer. Does it literally end the exact same way? Blah blah. Heartbeat's one thing, she got one thing wrong though. Oh, here we go. I did not die alone. You've unlocked a memory fragment. Oh, fucking save scumming. Right, cool. I don't need to save. So we don't see what fires the arrow. And now this is a question what I'm going to ask, and I do want the answer to. In relative terms, given, obviously, broadcast and voicing out everything, how long is Luke's story? Because it looks like Luke's story is starting right as this point is, and it doesn't go past this day. Or as far as I know, it doesn't go past this day. Are we talking an hour or two? Or is there quite a concise, like, considerable amount? If there's not that much left of it, I might just push through. My original thought was Luke, because all the other stories have started back from where it was at the end of every other character's story. I assumed we were going to play through a lot of Luke's shit, which was going on in the background, leading up to November the 1st. But if it starts on November the 1st, realistically, there can't really be that much left of the game. Right? You know what? Google. Yeah, the music's gonna disappear for a second or what. Sorry. Okay, this literally gives me nothing. Unfortunately, it doesn't look as if many people have played it. Or the people who have played it haven't $15 to 20 hours is the average. You know what? Boop. Boop. Right, load Luke. Yes. I'm going to be back in a second. I'm going to quickly nip to the loo and carry on. Because I don't think this... Hold on. To say I'm scared of what happening is a gross understatement. Trouble of any sort is the last thing I want to get home to after a long day of work and a trip to the bar. And when I see Hannah near prostrate, I can only feel dread. He twitches and sees his body wound coiled tight. Like a woman possessed, her mouth falls open and her eyes roll back into the back of her head. It has the hallmark signs of a seizure. The symptoms are similar enough. And the knowledge that the fact I know this only makes me feel worse. Any anger I caused by our disagreement on parting ways, no matter how temporary she claimed it to be, disappeared. The alcohol-induced daze that I felt was brushed aside as I run to help her. None of that mattered at the moment. No, this is starting back. 29th. I'm looking for a picture of that. So it is starting back. So yeah, seeing as this seems to be quite a sizable chunk, I thought it was dropping straight into the ending scene, where we literally just left off with the group being held at gunpoint. So there's probably still quite a sizable chunk of this game left, and I've already been going 7 hours today. So I'm probably going to leave it here. I don't think I'll be online tomorrow to stream this. I might be online later in the night just to play like some Overwatch or something, and I may stream it. But we're supposed to have a plumber come round tomorrow and potentially like completely replacing the soil pipe outside our house. So that's a full day's worth of work. I don't really want to stream while loads of strangers could be in my house doing lots of work to the house, and the window what I'm facing faces the backyard. But as always, follow me on Twitter, same name as what I've got on here, Captain Publi. Post there anytime that I go live. I'll put an update tomorrow regarding whether I'm going to be playing or not, or whether I'm just going to wait until the end of the day and just play some Overwatch. If I don't stream this tomorrow, I will be streaming it on Saturday, and I'm looking to push to the end of the game. But as I said, 7 hours now, my throat is starting to get a little bit hoarse. I don't want to blow out my voice. So I hope you can all appreciate that. But Ashton's story took 8 hours to go through. So I don't know how long this could take. It's just one of them things. So, quit the game, to the main menu. Before I go, gallery. It said memory fragment. I've only unlocked one. And it's literally just that. So as you can see, this is clearly the woman who's the ghoul. The only way I can describe her effectively is the ghoul. And this is Lady Charlotte Ermengarde, who looks a lot like Hannah. And during Ashton's story, we saw that she was taking on the form of Charlotte Ermengarde in her final moments to show us what happened. I'm not entirely sure what that sequence is all about. I'm probably going to go back and watch parts of my VOD to try and like nitpick elements of the story. And yeah, kind of see if I can guesstimate where the story's going to go, because my current theory for the game is Charlotte saved this woman from slavery. This woman eventually had a child with Lord Godfrey. Edward Godfrey, I think his name is. Something similar to that. And again, I don't want the answers. I don't want to know. This is just my theory right now. That they had a child, or she was having some kind of affair with Edward. I can only assume a child came from it, and then Charlotte found out about the child and decided to burn the woman as a witch as revenge of, no, you were screwing my husband. I'm going to burn you, but I'm going to use the ruse of a witch because everybody in this town believes me. And the fact that the descendants of that one child, I'm assuming the child got away, eventually got himself into a family, and then eventually started to go down the line of family, and eventually became part of the right family, and there came Luke. Because there's one specific scene where it looks like she's holding him from behind, not looking to hurt him, but looking to protect him and say, I'm keeping him, he's mine. Because he looks a lot like Godfrey. And the reason why the ghoul is being the magnificent clusterfuck arsehole that it is it's trying to protect Luke from everything around and trying to keep her for himself. Trying to keep him for herself. All the other tangible theory is she was burned, she never let go. Luke Wright miraculously looks all like Edward Godfrey and she wants to protect him. But I think it's still the same distinct thing that the witch had an affair with the Lord of the House, and something about that shifted Charlotte. And then I'm pretty sure in the story it says that Charlotte took her own life. I can't remember. This is what I'm going to have to go back and nitpick. but that's what I seem to remember. And my memory's not great. So I'm going to try... That's basically my theory for the game. And the letter is some kind of way to tie her to this world. Basically. It's kind of like the whole fucking Harry Potter Voldemort thing. The only thing which is binding Voldemort to this world is the Horcruxes. Her Horcrux is the note. It's the only thing I can imagine. Because I honestly, playing through what I've played through, I'm struggling to find a tangible reason why the letter and the story are connected. It's the only thing what I've not managed to kind of piece together. But I'm going to think of this. Like I said, eyes on Twitter. And at the start of next stream, I'm basically going to use the knowledge what I'm going to start trying to pick out and try and round off my theory of how the game ends. This is one thing what I like to do. Theorize how the game's going to end before we get to the end and see how accurate I was by the threads what the story was throwing out. So we'll have to see.